Welcome to Dalit Knowledge. Dalit Knowledge is the knowledge of truth. This is Professor Dr. Lella Karunyakara, Dalit Indian historian and an Ambedkarite thinker. The subject of this lecture is Dalit reflections on the age of artificial intelligence, AI. Yuval Noah Harari, an Israeli Hebrew professor of history at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, he talked about the age of artificial intelligence in his book 21 Lessons for 21st Century. This lecture is a reflection on his argument of artificial intelligence from Dalit Indian philosophical perspective. One day I was going from airport to home by a cab. I told cab driver to go straight. There is a proper road, straight road, and easily, quickly we can reach my home. He didn't listen to me. He said he drives cab as per the direction of Google app. I told him that we are going to my home. I know the route, proper route to my home. There is a road, proper road is there. However, he took in different road and different route where there was no road at all. And it took too long. And finally, he brought me to my home, the back side of my home, not the front side. He relied on Google app to go to home, which of my own. I was telling him I know the route map to my home better than the Google map. Even then he listened to Google. What does it tell us? What the whole incident tell us? It tells us that we humans are relying on smart machines for the truth. We are no more searchers of the truth. We are no more truth searchers. We are truth takers from the smart machines. This is the age of artificial intelligence. The machine decides what is truth, not the we human beings. More and more smart machines are made. Smartphones, smart apps in the phones, smart robots, and nanotechnology combined with information technology, making the world smarter than ever. There is a fear that the future of humans will be decided by the machines made with artificial intelligence. However, I am one among those people who believe that the natural intelligence of the humans is superior to artificial intelligence of the smart machines. After all, humans are the creators of the machines. Yuval Noah Harari argues that the world is entering into the age of artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence combined with biotechnology, it's a deadly combination. The engineers of software technology and the scientists of biotechnology joining together produce very promising technology that could be useful for the humans. At the same time, that would be dangerous to the humans. When gun was invented, the invention of the gun was also seen in the same perspective. A gun was meant for protection from the animals and from the enemies. And the same gun has become the weapon, a killer weapon to kill fellow human beings. Suicides. Same way, when biotechnology merges with the software technology, the artificial intelligence made with the algorithms that could read the biochemical reactions in our body, that will tell. There are many health apps even now we could see in our own smartphones. Those health apps tell us our body temperature, BP. When an app can tell the body temperature, BP of a human, tomorrow it can tell whether that human is joy, happy, sad. If it falls into the hands of any politician whose intention to be he want to be a dictator in a democratic country, then what would be our future? The dictatorial politician could get to know his citizen, his voter is happy with him or not through this kind of apps. So there is, as far as health is concerned, we will be beneficiary when software technology joins with the biotechnology. When they prepare such an app, even a poor person can get to know about his diseases from the smartphone. So instead of spending more money in a multi-corporation hospitals, the same things he get to know from his own cell phone. So health apps would be very beneficial to the poor. But at the same time, the same health app could tell a dictatorial politician whether we are happy with his speech, whether we are happy with his policy decisions or not. So democracy could be empowered, as well as democracy could be weakened with the apps made by artificial intelligence combined with the biotechnology. The big question is that who controls the data ownership? Yuval Noah Harari also raised this question in his book. I would like to deal this question from Dalit Indian philosophical perspective. There are three models in front of us on the question of who could control the data ownership and how to regulate the ownership of the data. There are three models before us. One is, which is already we are experiencing, that is corporation ownership of the big data. There are big corporations who are already owning our data. Facebook, Amazon, Netflix. In India, corporations like Zio, they're all competing to collect our data, and we are sharing our data willingly in return to get free entertainment and free communication services. Initially, though these companies provide us free communication services and free entertainment and sell our data to advertisers to generate the revenue for their companies, to take care of the interests of their company shareholders, the consumers that we humans who are sharing our data are becoming not just the consumers, we are becoming product. Now in that such situation, how to protect ourselves from the misuse of our data? Now this is a private corporation ownership of the data. Then what about the model of government ownership of the data? After all, government owns land, people by different laws. It is the government that take care of the interests of the people, its citizens. So the best model is giving the ownership of big data to the state. State ownership of the data is the most attractive and most viable model in the democratic setup of data world. But there is a danger that if a politician becomes a more dictatorial, apart from having the total control, political control over the law, if he misuses the data ownership and controls the minds, lives and bodies of the humans, his voters, his citizens, his people, then what would happen to the government, to the democracy? That danger is there, giving state control to the data. The third model which I would like to propose is that Dalit model of data ownership. Dalit model of data ownership is that every person, every individual should have ownership over his data. How? See, it is inevitable. It is unavoidable that we have to share our data to big corporations, which we have already doing it. Tomorrow, if government asks us to share our data for different purposes, we have to share. We can't avoid this. But at the same time, we can have control over our data. How? That is what called Dalit model of ownership of data. Let there be data contract between the owner of the data and corporation, between the owner of the data and the government. Let there be data contract. In the data contracts, the terms and conditions are such that be it the government, be it the state, or be it the corporation would not misuse our data, and protects the privacy of the citizens, privacy of the data owner. So data owner would be we the people, we the humans would be the data owners, and the big corporations and the government or state, we are letting them take our data. So there will be a data justice tribunals, like racial justice tribunal or social justice tribunals. Let there be a data justice tribunals, and let there be a data justice regulations. What should be the terms and conditions? So though this model is initially I'm proposing it, we need to work over this idea of the Dalit model of ownership of the data. So this way, how to regulate data we could develop by drawing the terms and condition in that data contract, which I am proposing to be between data owner, that every human, every person is a data owner of his own data. Suppose if a Dalit community with 18 crore population, as a community is a owner of that Dalit community data. When the Dalit community 18 crore population data is shared with any company, and company will not become the owner of that data, company will become only an agent of that data. We are letting our data to that company. We are allowing the government to use our data for governance purpose, for the greater interest of the society and nation. But when it is misused by a politician, by the state, or by the corporation, the checks and balances system should be there. Like how the judiciary, an independent judiciary, verifies the law prepared by the law made by the state, whether it is in accordance with the constitution or not. In the same way, when the data is shared with the government or to the state or to the big corporation, whether the data is used or misused, used for the larger interest, used for the interest of the data owner or the owner of that particular community, or it is misused for the pure purpose of earning profits by the corporations, or for political misuse by any dictatorial politician, this should be checked by the data courts. So let there be a law courts that takes care of the data problems, data ownership problems. So racial justice system, like that we'll have a data justice system, data justice regulations, and data justice courts. So let there be regulations for the ownership of the data, and let there be regulations for the control of the ownership of the data. Because in a digitalized world, whoever owns the data is the owner of the world. If big corporation owns the data, then big corporation becomes the owner of the world. If the government or states owns the people's data, then government and state become the owner of the world. That would be nice, fantastic. After all, the government is elected by the people. But if the state, the politician becomes dictatorial, then what would happen to the people? In a democratic system, people are the owners of the state. Hence, even if the state takes the data of the people, but there should be a checks and balances system. There should be a judicial check. So my proposal of the Dalit model of data ownership is based on Dalit Indian philosophical wisdom. Middle path is the Dalit Indian philosophical wisdom. The ancient Dalit Indians used the middle path, which is born out of the Dalit Indian philosophical system, to face the challenges, the crises in their lives. At the time of the Gautam Buddha, the middle path was continued to be practiced by the ancient Dalit Indians. The middle path has been a part of Dalit Indian culture and Dalit Indian philosophy right from the beginning of the Indus civilization. So when we apply the middle path philosophy, which is born out of Dalit Indian philosophical wisdom, to the artificial intelligence crisis, I would like to call artificial intelligence crisis because humans are confused with what to do with their ownership of the data, whether to give or not to give to the companies. If they don't give, they don't get the services from the companies. They can't enjoy the fruits of artificial intelligence revolution. So in such a situation, to give, not to give, to face this crisis, to face this challenge, the middle path philosophy of Dalit wisdom tells us that we should share our data to the companies as well as to the state or government to enjoy the fruits of artificial intelligence revolution. But at the same time, we should maintain a balance between letting out our data, as I said, in the Dalit model of ownership of data, that is data contract between the individual and corporation, and between the individual and state. It's a data contract. That's what Dalit Indian model of data ownership. Now, when we apply the middle path to the crisis which created by the artificial intelligence revolution, we share our data with corporations as well as state, but at the same time we maintain our privacy. That is what middle path means. We maintain our privacy through this data contract. So with the data contract, we can enjoy the fruits of artificial intelligence revolution. At the same time, we can maintain our privacy when we create the regulatory mechanism to control the data ownership. So the Dalit Indian model of ownership of the data using the data contract, this model is the middle path model based on the Dalit Indian philosophical wisdom. This is what Dalit reflections on the age of artificial intelligence. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat. Thank you very much.